Hello Shello. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Nellyville Reviews Drag Race Season 18, Episode 3. Baby, oh my gosh. First off, let me apologize. I had to jump up and review Drag Race. I only had time to throw on a little bit of lip gloss, a little bit of mascara, dab of eyeliner. So, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't have time to take my hair down. My hair is still wrapped up. Like, baby, please forgive me that I couldn't give y'all the full glam, the full fantasy, a full face of makeup. It's just a little chapstick and a little mascara. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not wearing green and pink for any particular reason. I woke up, I had on my unicorn tank top, and I threw on just, this little green sweater. Like, it's the first thing I found on my closet. It's not because my great-grandmother was an AKA. It has nothing to do with that. Jump right into episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race Rpdr Live returns. So this is the episode where it's like the SNL parody type of situation. Y'all know the gigs. Y'all know the gigs. Here we are after the elimination. The girls are in the room. Look, Mandy knows. Look, Mandy's been in the bottom 2 weeks in a row. Mandy knows she needs to step it up. The girls congratulate Jane, but feels like there's a little target on her back. Jane is like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so well. Everybody's gonna hate me. Like, I'm doing so good, but I don't want to brag. Girl. Oh, the girls ask Athena how she's feeling after the rough week last week. She came off of being the bottom and, the things, right? And then it was a rough week last week, but I think she's ready to turn a new leaf, woo. And Athena starts talking about Briar is annoying. I'm so sorry, y'all. I feel like there's a little bit of chemistry there. I feel like Briar has a little bit of a crush. And I feel like Athena is entertaining it. That's just what I'm picking up. They talk about last week, they give congratulations to, Here we are in the next day, yay. Look, I understand and I certainly appreciate that there's older queens. But here they are again, still talking about their ages. Like, girls, all of y'all are in your 30s. Why are y'all talking like, y'all really, like damn, like, y'all are still babies. Y'all are babies. And y'all talking like y'all are in your goddamn 70s. Like, what is going on? But anyways, I'm glad that they are acknowledging that Drag Race casted queens that are not in their 18, 19, early 20 years or whatever. But do we need to acknowledge it every week, though? Like, it's giving... Y'all done a lot. Kenya loves to see Mia laugh. And Kenya talks about how it does not take much to make Mia laugh. And look, I am one of those girls. Once you get me going, I'm going. Like, I love to laugh. It's my favorite thing to do, to laugh. And, once you get me going, it's easy to do. Rules. So the Rue mail pops up. Rue looks great, of course. There's no mini challenge this week. Rue enters the workroom. Rue announces that there is going to be RDR live. RuPaul tells them that they get to choose their part, and Rue reminds them that this is all done in one take. So you got one time to get it right. Then here go Juicy saying she doesn't do comedy. She doesn't do acting. Girl, what do you do? This is what, the 3rd episode? And every episode you've been talking about, you don't do this, you don't do that, I don't know how to do this, I don't know that, I don't have experience in that. Look, baby, I know you're a baby. I know you're a baby, queen. But it's just like, damn, like, you knew you was getting on Drag Race. You didn't prepare for nothing. You was just like, shit, I submitted my tape, I got cast, I'm gonna figure the rest out. Which, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that energy either, but it's like, damn, like, every challenge you're like, I don't really do that. I don't really know. This is my first time. It's like, damn, girl, what do you do? What do you do well? Quickly. The girls sit around and they start reading through the script and they decide to start picking their roles. So Kenya wants Plum. Okay, work. Vita wants to be Butch. Nene decides to be Red. Mikey wants to be Young Michelle. Lucy wants to be Jean. Darlene wants to be Daisy. Mandy wants to be Barbara Johnson. Sierra wants to be Anchor 1. And Briar wants to be the Inner Saboteur, which also ends up being Anchor number 2. And then Briar insists on Athena being the host, aka her scene partner. Athena is like, no, I don't want to be the host. I don't want to work with you. Like, the way that they kind of go back for, I'm sorry, it's just giving crush. I don't know if Briar has more of a crush on Athena than Athena to Briar, but it's like, I don't know, it's like too playful of energy there. I'm sensing like a little romance, a little chemistry there. Jane and Athena want to be the supportive mom. I think Athena is afraid to be the host. Cause like, you are that hosting girl back at home. Why don't you want to be here? Is it because you're afraid you can't live up to the potential? Or like, it's giving afraid. Finally, Athena caves and takes the host role. Baby, sink or swim, Athena. And Jane ends up being the supportive mom. So the girls break off into their scene groups or whatever. They read through and they strategize. So we have the lip sync lovers, Kenya, Vita, and Nene. Kenya seems ready to rise to the occasion. Then we have the QNN news team. We have Jane and Sierra. Then we have in the Tuckahoe County Fair, we have Discord, Mia, Darlene, and Mandy. And here we go. Discord says to her group, if Jane is in the top again, she will be happy for her. But 3 weeks in a row is a bit too much. And like, I get it. Like, you have one queen or a couple queens is doing a line. They doing their big one. They keep winning week. I can see how you get it a little bit in your head and all this other kind of stuff. The host and the Inner Saboteur, Athena and Briar. Athena is warming up to being the host, but is still trying to get used to Briar being her scene partner. Athena didn't want to just like play herself. She wanted to show that she could do a different character. And like, I get that, but like sometimes you gotta play to your strengths. Like, you are a host back at home. Like, you do the damn thing. Sometimes you just gotta do the damn thing. You don't always have to be like, oh, let me step outside of the bun to show that I can really do the thing. Sometimes it's okay to just do the thing. Young Michelle, Mikey, Juicy. I don't know what Juicy was doing with the voice and rehearsal, but I was like, okay, baby, I'm worried. Mikey is such a great coach. Mikey gives good direction to Juicy without belittling her, without making her feel bad. Mikey is a great coach. Rue comes back to the workroom with Sarah Sherman. She's on SNL if you love her, if you want to catch her work. Groups go in to get their like critiques and like, you know, get their little 1-2-1-2. County Fair group meets with RuPaul first. And one of my favorite parts about this was RuPaul bringing up Discord's walk. Oh my gosh. RuPaul bringing up the walk. I'm glad that it was acknowledged during the season, which I'm sure that it was going to be. But RuPaul was being like, RuPaul said, historians are going to look back on Drag Race or the walks or whatever and look back at you and be like, what was wrong with her? Oh my God. And Discord was like, what do you mean? Like, what? Like, is my walk bad? Like, what? Discord was so gay. And RuPaul was like, baby, don't change a thing. At this point, it is camp. And it's so funny. Rue also talks about Mandy's lip sync for the past week. And Rue was like, damn. Baby, you're a good baby, you know how to lip sync for your life. And so I'm glad that Rue gave Mandy her props. Next up, we have the lipstick lovers and Young Michelle team. They come up and they get their little reviews from RuPaul and Sarah. Juicy is just now realizing her role is a homage, to Michelle. How are you just, I was like, how are you just realizing? Baby, how are you just realizing that your role is a homage to Michelle? We learned that Mikey has a theater background and has a heartfelt moment talking about her dad. I love a heartfelt moment. I love Juicy and Mikey working together. I at this point in the episode, I really thought that they were gonna turn it. Sarah announces the runway theme is animal attraction. Now it is showtime. Now the Tuckahoe County Fair group, Mandy did really well for me. Darlene, Mia, Discord, they did great too. I thought Mandy did really good. But we're gonna find out later that me and the judges did not share the same critique. The host and the saboteur, Athena and Briar, did great. Perfect pair. Athena looked great in that all white outfit. I'm not gonna lie. The lipstick lover group. Look, Vita, I'm so sorry. Vita was just okay. And she was borderline a flop. Nene was just okay. Kenya had the energy, but it didn't hit. And maybe she had different scene partners or something, but she went there, but it just And then RuPaul was the musical guest. It was a good number. RuPaul looked good. Then we had the QNN News. You know, we get to see Briar in her second role as anchor number 2. Briar did well. I wasn't like, or whatever, but it was okay. It wasn't a flop. She did stumble over her words a little bit, but it was still cute. Kiara did well. It was nothing crazy. It was solid. And same for Jane for me. Jane, I think, did really, really good. I don't think she flopped, but it was not something I'm going to remember forever. Then we cut to Michelle doing like her segment. The tap dancing and the speech, it was really cute. It was really good. I don't think I know if Michelle could tap dance. Then we cut to the young Michelle part of the skit. Mikey and Juicy did amazing. They were the top 2 for me. Based off of performance, they were the top 2. They did so good. They had great chemistry. They really went there. They took it to another level. They did really, really. It was great. Overall, it was a great RDR live challenge. Now we move on to Elimination Day. Look, Vita is second guessing the voice that she chose to use. And I agree. You should have been second guessing yourself. Because what was that voice that you used in the challenge? What was that voice? Juicy isn't sure where she's going to land, but I don't think that she had anything to worry about. This other thing I really like. Juicy thanks Mikey for all of her help and compliments her on eating the role. Athena is feeling confident. Briar feels confident. Jane is in her head. Briar asks her how she's feeling, and then Jane has this moment and she's like, I just feel like I'm doing so good. The girls who are like, I'm doing so well. I don't want anybody to not like me. Baby, if you're doing good, then lean into that. Briar and Juicy give her a pep talk. And I'm glad that they did that. It was cute. Sierra will be doing a full face prosthetic this week. She says she does them often, but this is her first time doing it on the show. We learned that she worked as a special effects artist over 14 years, and she has an impressive resume, just like in general. She worked for Marvel. She worked for the Secret Service. Like, look her up. Now it's time for the runway. Yes, Rue. Let me tell y'all something. Our judges today, we have, of course, Rue. We have Michelle. We have Maddie. And we have Sarah, all looking great. Love it so much. Let's get into these runways, darling. First up, we have Discord, and her animal of choice was was alligator, it's a perfectly fine look. It's not something to write home about. She put her face on the bag because, people wear animal on their designer bag, so she put a human on a designer bag or whatever. The makeup, I'm like, it could have been different. The hair could have been different. Next up, we have Mia Star. Her animal choice is poodle. This is cute. It's not the most innovative thing, but it's really cute. It's well done. But I feel like definitely for sure it could have been elevated a little bit more. Then we have Mandy, who is a deer. It wasn't my favorite. It had some things that I like. Then we have Darlene as the cow. I liked it. It was cute. Now, RuPaul had some issues with that. It wasn't a heel. It was a hoof. It was cute. Was it the most extravagant thing? Are we going to remember it? Maybe not, but it was cute. It was well done. It was fine. It was what it was. Then we have Athena as a white barn owl. This was really cute, especially when she put the mask up. This was a great look. We have Briar Blush, who was the swan. This outfit was cute, but I feel like it was really, really close to the promo look. And then with the black shoes and the black mat, I think that it should have been a different color. Then we have Vita, who did the zebra. Baby, step it up. I didn't like this black part of the makeup. I was like, I'm sorry, this was not giving RuPaul's Drag Race runway for me. Then we have Nene Coco, who was the poisoned dart frog. And I was like, why was she walking so fast? But whatever. This was a really cute look. The makeup is beautiful. The look is beautiful. Is it like the most original thing? No, but it is a really solid look. It's very well polished. Okay, Nene Coco, I'm here with it. Then we have Kenya doing a tiger-inspired look. Look was a little much. I get that she was trying to serve, but it was a little much. It was okay. Then we have Sierra as the chameleon. Sierra, you talked all this big game about you being a special effects artist and all this other kind of stuff, and I'm just kind of like, it was a great costume. I don't know if it was drag. What was going on with the headpiece? You know what I'm saying? Then we have Jane Don't as the macaw. This was really good. I like that it was not a literal transformation. Very beautiful colors. I think that color scheme looked really, really great on her. She looks good in an orange, ready wig. It was very beautiful. It was I couldn't hate on the makeup. I couldn't hate on the wig. It was cute. So we have Mikey as the cheetah. Girl, I get what she was trying to do with the wig. It just wasn't well done for me. The outfit, this is not a runway look. Like, great in the club for the runway. I'm sorry, it missed me. I love you, Mikey, but Then here comes Juicy, and Juicy said, I'm stepping all the way outside of the bun, y'all. Y'all are not ready for me. Juicy gave us a pangolian. Okay? Also, can I go back to Jane, who said that, if you can think back to the girl group last week, and Jane helped all of, her group members with their lyrics and the things, and Briar had a lyric that says something about a macaw or whatever. And here's Jane this week dressed as a macaw, and it's like, oh, okay, I see what you was doing there. Anyways, Juicy did the pangolian, and her outfit is stunned. 5,000 individually cut and placed scales. This was absolutely beautiful. Of course, the makeup and the mug is beautiful. And the headpiece, the proportions were perfect. Everything was spot on. The color was great on her. It was great. So we get on to the critiques. In the safe group, we have Discord, Mia, Athena. And the way Athena reacted, I couldn't tell if she was like happy or like gagged. I couldn't tell if she was like, oh, thank God, or she was like, I can't believe it. I couldn't tell at that moment. Nene was safe. She swore. She swore she thought she was in the top. And Mikey and Juicy holding hands after the first round of girls were called for being safe. And then Mikey and Juicy, that was so cute. Mikey ends up being one of the additional safe girls. She was a little bit cracked. Also safe Kenya and Sierra. We go on to the critiques for the tops and the bottoms. Mandy, the judges, they liked her look and performance, but wanted her to stay in her conservative role. I get what the judges were saying, but I think what Mandy did was really, really funny. And like some other people pointed out, I feel like if Mandy would have stayed in her conservative role during the, the acting part of the challenge, that I could see them saying, you didn't take it there. You didn't go far enough. You didn't think outside of the box. Darlene, they loved everything, but RuPaul did call out the flats or the hooves. Darlene was the cow and she had but I think it went with her outfit, but yeah, I guess you gotta have a heel. Briar, they said they loved the look, but the acting was one note. I agree. It was one note. Vita, they love the look, but not the acting. Yeah, and like I said, the acting was kind of flat for me too. Jane, they love the outfit and the acting. Juicy, they love the look and her acting. No negative criticism. Juicy had a nice explanation on why she picked the animal. It obviously was not a common animal, and she said that growing up, she wanted to be a veterinarian, so she wanted to draw attention to an animal that was endangered. Maddie even said that she would wear the look to the Met Gala. So the top ended up being Jane, Darlene, and Juicy, and the winner is Juicy. Well deserved. Juicy won. I was wondering, I was like, is Mikey going to be happy for her, or is she going to be bitter? Up in the bottom, Mandy and Briar. Oh my goodness. Vita was also in the bottom. And the song is Love in Real by Lizzo. Honestly, this was not a great lip sync. The whole thing was meh. There was no connection to the song. Briar bumped into Mandy, and Briar could have put on a reveal outfit. Like, Briar took off her main thing and she just stripped down to her undergarments. And I was like, girl, if you knew it was a chance you was gonna be in elimination, why couldn't you put on something to reveal to? I even wrote, based off of the lip sync, send them both home. Unfortunately, Mandy goes home, which, if you're in the bottom 2, in her case 3 times in a row, unless you really do something spectacular or the other person really, really flops, baby, you got to go. Love you so much, Mandy. Elevate a little bit, and I can see you being in an All-Stars and really turning it and doing the things. Let's get into this Untucked episode. Not a whole lot going on in Untucked. Mikey is disappointed, but she's happy for Juicy. Tina said, I was thinking about Briar, how Briar puts on a front, but is actually super sensitive. Mia and Briar had a misunderstanding while getting ready, apparently. I think we'll see more of that next week. Athena calls Mikey's look basic. And it was. I can't even be mad at Athena. Like, Mikey's look was basic. Jane starts stumbling over her words when Sierra asks her if the scene was flat before she entered, because some of the judges, or I think all of the judges, said that the scene with Jane, Sierra, and Briar, like, the scene was flat, like it was boring with just Sierra and Briar. And then when Jane came in, it was real cute. Jane was like stumbling. She was like, I don't know if I agree. I think that which it speaks to her being in her head earlier, because she was like, I'm doing so good, I don't want the girls to not like me. I'm like, girl, whatever. I have to say, Mia looks so pretty. And then Sarah comes backstage to have a kiki with the girls. It was real cute. But then when Mia was dabbing Mandy's tears, because Mandy's getting prepared for the lip sync and all of the things, and Mia's dabbing her tears, and it was just so sweet. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Yay! In this episode of Nellyville Reviews Drag Race. And yes, darling, we will be here next week. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you in the next video. Whoa, thank you. Bye!